right, I wanted to show you how to make a waterfall chart. So what is a waterfall chart? Well, waterfall chart or waterfall diagram is a way to display data that is a part of a whole. So this is similar to a pie chart, only in my opinion it's a little bit better than a pie chart. So say you have some data that looks like this, where you have some total sales for the entire company, but it's broken up into three divisions, right? So these three numbers sum up to the total. And if I want to display graphically sort of the representation of this total across these three divisions, one way to do that is with this waterfall diagram. So here, let me show you quickly what it's going to look like when it's done. So we'll talk in a minute how to do this. Here's the total, and then it's called the waterfall diagram because then it just sort of waterfalls down, right? So here's the top of the waterfall. Division 1 had 69,000, and then it goes down. Division 2 had 260,000, and Division 3 had 81,000. So it just sort of trickles down, right? And you can see that these three bars, if you kind of put them all together, it equals the total, right? So it's just an easy, quick way to graphically see that the total is made up of these three things. People get it real fast. You don't have to explain things. You just say, look, here it is. So let's talk about how to make this. You have to, so Excel doesn't have like a waterfall chart per se, but it's not too hard to kind of trick Excel how to do this. So let me show you how to do this. So if you have your numbers, easiest way is to sort of move them over and add a new column, and we'll just call it bottom. You'll see in a minute why we call it the bottom. So what we're going to do is for each of these divisions, or each of these bars, we're going to end up with 4 bars. We have to find the bottom and the top, right? So the top, well, actually we don't have to find the top. We have to find the bottom and then how big the bar right above that's going to be. We're going to make a stacked bar chart. We'll see in a minute. So the first one, the bottom is just going to be 0. It's going to go from 0 to 411,000. That's just our total. The next one is it's going to be 69,000 big, but it's going to start way up at 411,000. So we need to know where the bottom of that bar is going to be. All right, so where does, from here, from the bottom of the bar up to 69,000 should be total 411. So let me show you what I mean. So we need to find what this line is right here in the very bottom. All right, so that from there up, it's going to equal 411. So it's going to be 69,000 up. And then later on, we're going to find this bottom, right? And then we'll know we have to go up from there. And then this one is always going to be 0. It's always going to be the bottom, right? You can have more than 3 divisions. Like we could have 20 divisions here. We can have as many as we want. So the same process works. So let's just do it with this. So how do we do this? Well, the first one, it's pretty easy. We just say, well, we know that the total is that, total sales. And we subtract from that how much that the first division is, right? And that will give us the bottom, 341,000. So let's go back and look at this. So this right here is 341,000. Starts right at 341,000, and then it goes up. Right, so all we need to know is these bottom numbers. We don't actually need to know the top numbers. We'll see in a minute, so we just need to figure out the bottom numbers. All right, so from there, now we need to figure out what this bottom number is. So how do we find that bottom number? Well, it's just this bottom number minus 260,000. Right, that bottom number minus 260,000 will give us this bottom number. Right, that's all there is to it. So let's go back here. So the previous bottom number minus 260,000, whatever the height of that bar, whatever it should be. There we go. So it should start at 81,250. So let's take a look. So yep, 81,000, which coincidentally is actually the height of the very last bar, 81,250. So I can do the same thing. It's going to be 0, but I can say, the height of the bar above it, or the bottom line of the bar above it, minus how big that bar should be. And look, this should be 0. And the last one should always be 0. But again, we can have several more divisions if we do. Or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be divisions. It can be all kinds of things, right? So I have some students right now that are working on this entire long process that's broken up into a whole bunch of little processes. So they're saying the whole process takes this long, but then each of these little processes within it takes this long, so that we can see visually which of the little processes is actually taking the longest amount of time. But I believe there's like 4 or 5. So, we could break it up that way. That's not a problem. All right, so when this is ready, this is it. We just highlight this data, go to Insert, and we're going to make a column chart. And the one we want is this guy right here that's called stacked column chart. You don't want the 100% stacked, just the regular old stacked. So let's just click that. That's it. So highlight all the data the way that we have it. Click on that guy. Oops. Drag this in here so you can see it. Maybe. There we are. So this is what we got so far. So it doesn't look quite right. So we have to do one more thing to make this look right. So we actually have the right bars that are these red ones. But we have these weird blue bars called bottom. So first of all, I would just delete the legend. You don't need the legend. And then these blue guys, just click on them, right click, and then you're going to find this little shape fill button. Click on that guy. And let me move this. You probably can't see, but there's this little thing called no fill. Should be this thing. It's underneath the screen, so maybe I can move this up. All right, I'm back. So sorry, the computer went crazy. So let's do this again. So if we click on the blue, you could right click and look on the little thing. I found another way to do this so I can show you. Click on the format up here, and it says chart tools. Shape fill. Make sure that you've just got the blue selected. Shape fill, and then click on this guy that says no fill. So you can see that I can change the color. As I do this, the color changes down here. I don't want white, because if I have white, then the lines, you can see that there's white. I actually want no fill. It's basically transparent, so I can see through it. All right, so when I do that, you can see that Excel says, well, there actually is a bar under here, but you're not going to see it when I click out of it. All right, so that's exactly what I want. So then I could actually go through and change the color of each of these other ones if I wanted to, right? Same way. Let's make that one purple. And let's make that one blue. Right, so now they're different colors. And then the other thing that I did, I think on the other chart that's kind of nice, if I select out of here and then select this one, it'll select all of them. See how they're all selected? If I right click now and say add data labels, click on that, then it actually just adds these sales data labels, right? And only for the ones that are not invisible, So that's exactly what we want. So perfect. So that's it. So that's all there is to making a waterfall chart. Not much to it. Okay, that's it. Bye.